Yeah, bet. Call my ass. Call my ass right now. Let me check Discord. Dude, if you join, like when you go to the ODFL support server or whatever, if you join the debate panel thing, like, does it let you just automatically start talking? Like, you should be able to join it. I think. If I know Discord and I don't, I feel like you can join it and just start talking.
Hello, hello.
There you go. What is up?
Yo,
How you
just
living?
chilling. To be honest, I don't know if this man used how to work Discord, so I'm gonna just call him and guide him through this shit real
Okay.
quick.
So,
Be back.
so then I am gonna get around to fucking Mario Kart. I'm just gonna play some whatever the fuck.
Shop Tire Kingdom's Holiday Head Start Tire event and get 4 select tires for just $2.99, and that includes installation. Over 90,000 tires must go. Buy 4 for just $2.99, including installation.
So Republicans did not have a good night last night. Ain't no red wave, dog. Maybe there's a red trickle. It looks like they're going to barely win the House, but 66% chance they lose the Senate. A good night for them would have been 54 seats in the Senate. We are nowhere near 54 seats in the Senate.
And my
They
controller's
were thinking
broken.
Washington might go red.
Sick.
Way wrong. Colorado, way wrong. New Hampshire, way wrong. Pennsylvania, Fetterman pulled it
Damn,
off.
bro.
Okay, not a good night for Republicans.
Controllers are officially
Honestly,
broken,
in the House or the
dog.
Senate, even if they take the House by a slim margin, still not a good night for Republicans. Okay, so I want to show you, we're going to do a Republican cope and seethe segment here, where we're going to go through a lot of the reaction as it was happening in real time. Some of this stuff is just before. So let's start with this one. So this was, I mean, I love this. I love this so much because this is like, are you trying to lose? Is that what you're doing here, Republicans? So Marsha Blackburn was on Fox Business Network. Listen to what she said.
I think the first thing that we should do is to freeze federal spending, salaries, and hiring so that we begin to put a cap on this and say, oh, no more. We have to get this in shape.
Dude.
So being able to freeze that spending and then undo some of these programs like the student loan forgiveness program that is so grossly unfair, and having people that have worked hard to get through college without debt turn around and have to pay for somebody else's debt. It is just so unfair.
We want to freeze salaries, wages, so do austerity, and roll back the student loan debt reduction. Okay, that helps 40 million working class people. 90% of the people helped by that make $75,000 a year or less. This is materially improving the lives of working class people. It's one of the best things Biden did. And by the way, I think we're going to find out that was a big reason for Democrats doing well in this election, because young people probably turned out, and that was one of the main reasons why. And this was just before the election. Oh, I can't wait for us to freeze salaries and roll back student loan debt reduction. Again, are you trying to lose? Are you trying? This is the problem with being in your own bubble. You lose all normie sensibilities. You lose all normie sensibilities, like how big that is for so many people, how much that helps people, and it's just like, we should get rid of that. Because everybody I talk to in my little bubble thinks it's a bad idea because we're all fucking mega rich and we've sold out.
This is my boy Nico. He's running the stream.
What up?
Yeah.
What's
The
going
man
on?
of many talents.
A few mediocre talents. Jacob?
Yeah.
Alright, Liddy, what's good, man? What's happening?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Chilling. Nicky D told me, texted me earlier. He said, "Yo, my boy he used to ride for Biden, and now he's flipping to Desantis."
Yeah.
So first things first, did you vote yesterday, Jacob, or not?
So honestly, if I'm being completely 100% honest, I didn't vote yesterday.
Hey,
No problem.
But
hey, only Nicky D voted out of the three.
Out of the three of us.
fire. Yeah, dude, straight up, bro. I'm not like I literally went from being a Democrat this year to not being affiliated with any political party.
But you're still like,
Okay,
generally speaking, pretty woke on like social, cultural issues, like things of that nature. Correct?
Right, yeah. Like as far as social or cultural issues, I would definitely say like I agree with the left more. However, on fiscal issues, or like economic issues, I should say.
But like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean
yeah.
by fiscal?
What are the economic issues?
So what I mean by that is I agree that anything above 33% taxes, we shouldn't have. For example,
You think
because
33 is the hard cutoff?
33 is the hard cutoff because if it's above 33, you become a more socialistic economy.
Okay, I was gonna say what compared to other countries. That's because compared to other countries currently, we have like a pretty low tax rate.
Right.
That's true, but we also have a very high rate of tax avoidance.
Exactly.
True. I mean, I don't even completely disagree with that, but to me, it's not really about what the rate is. It's more like how the tax money is spent. It's like if it's
Right,
spent
no,
on
as
useful
well, yeah.
things, then
I
I
was-
wouldn't mind it being higher.
Right. What I was gonna say was that I mean, I think we do spend obviously a lot of money on our military.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do I believe it should be less? I do think it should be less. However, I don't necessarily like see a problem with more of our budget, proportionately speaking, being devoted to the armed forces.
Yeah, after you. I know it's like we spend more than like the next 3 or 4 like combined.
I think more than that, yeah. But
It's some crazy.
so what do you think about like should America be like securing world trade routes? Should we have military bases like in all these countries? Like that's
Yeah.
something that you're
Good
both
question.
pretty okay with, or
Yes, I'm okay with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
I'm
have no
okay with
problem.
it as well.
I overall like the idea of us being a superpower because we're still like we're one of the freer countries, one of the better countries still.
Right. Obviously,
We generally
there's no-
fight for pretty good things in the
Yeah.
wars that we do fight. I
We
would think
obviously
so.
have our fucking issues and our corruptions or whatever.
and we have our special interests as well. you know,
Yes,
of course,
yes.
yeah.
So, what about like? So what about the Democrats made you go like I'm out this game, bro?
What made me so about the Democrats? What made me leave?
Because I just want to say real quick, because I'm also like a fucking the Democrats are they suck right now.
Yeah.
Like,
We're voting
they-
against Republicans, yeah, not for the
yeah,
Democrats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, but keep going. What were you gonna say?
Right. So, and that's the problem. And I'm glad you guys both realize it because the Democratic Party doesn't, you know. So, anyways, what made me leave the Democratic Party was the fact that it was a number of things, but the last straw, so to speak, for me was after, I'm not sure if it was after Uvalde or another mass shooting, which is awful because we have so many of them.
Yeah, it's
right?
too many to even remember is already
Too many to
pathetic.
remember,
Yeah.
which is horrible. However, after one of them, Biden announced that his administration would be pushing for an assault weapons ban, or quote unquote assault weapons ban,
Mm-hmm.
because there really is no clear definition as to what an assault weapon is.
Right.
But and so he announced that his administration would be pushing for an assault weapons ban like the one that was passed in 1994 under Bill Clinton.
Which
And-
did lower the amount of shootings.
It did, but however, what's also noted is that wasn't necessarily due to a reduction, or that wasn't necessarily due to the 94 law itself.
What would you say it's like more attributed to?
So what other
Because as soon as that law was
causes
repealed, it just
of
went
that
right back up.
decrease
Well,
was
even overall crime did just like
crime.
peak in
I
the
was just about
90s,
to
right?
say crime peaked in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And then around 93, I would say it started declining.
Am I wrong to say though that when that ban was repealed, that shootings went back up? Because I believe
that's
that's
actually
the
pretty
case.
important.
However, it's also important to remember that obviously banning, certain guns doesn't mean that people won't get a hold of them.
Right.
But it's also important to remember as well that when you look at the total amount of money that is flowing in an illegal trade, for example, like illegal markets,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like the black market, drugs are number one.
So
And
assault weapons
firearms are number
ban
two.
you think it's like that big of a problem?
Well, what I'm saying is that much like in the way how banning drugs or making drugs illegal is not going to stop people from using those drugs, almost exactly the same way.
So you sort of realized it was just hypocritical.
I would kind of agree with that. With that, like saying it's similar to drugs, where making drugs illegal doesn't stop people from doing drugs. It just makes it harder to get them and a little bit.
100%, yeah.
But I would argue that making it harder to get guns, because I'm not really like super like get rid of all the guns. I don't even think I don't think that'll ever happen in this country. Like we're gonna have guns forever. Like we'll never get rid of it. But having like some sort of regulation, like, you know what I mean? Like it's harder to get a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. 100%. I definitely feel like it should be harder. But however, I don't feel as if that making it harder to get guns necessarily has to equate to an assault weapons ban.
Well, here's the thing though.
Whatever that may be.
Like that might have been what he said to like get people hyped up, but if you look at the bill that actually passed, it was pretty okay. Like there was no assault weapons ban, but it was like the largest piece of anti-gun legislation since like 30 years or something.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think it did anything overly restrictive. Like I don't think people were like, yo, you literally can't get a gun anymore. Like I don't think the price of ammo went up too much. Like
what I'm saying is that what steered me away was that the whole party was also advocating for an assault weapons ban. Right. And so it was a combination of things. I mean, that was one of them.
Okay.
On top of that, I think the economy right now is, we're in a
shape. Yeah, not in great shape at all.
We're in a recession for sure. And another thing that really steered me away from them is the fact that Democrats, as well as the Biden administration, are just kind of basically saying we're not in a recession. That's exactly what they're saying, as a matter of fact. They're saying we're not in a recession.
Yeah.
Well, that is pretty retarded that the White House like changed their definition or whatever.
Right. But, like that when I heard that, I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, if you, as president of the United States, you should literally be like, we're in some challenging times.
Right.
But these are the steps that my administration is taking to combat that.
At the same time, though, like
disastrous recession.
When you look from like 2008 to today, like we've spent an incredible amount of money, and interest rates, like in terms of the Federal Reserve, have like stayed super low. I don't think that Biden is to blame just because now the Federal Reserve has to start tightening like the monetary policy. Like I think that's the real reason that the economy is getting fucked right now.
Well, because like they're doing that to combat inflation, right?
True, but both parties spent a lot of money. Like Trump spent a shit ton of money for like 4 years, right?
That is true. However, this administration hasn't cut spending.
Yeah.
They have, but not by enough. That I agree with.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had the infrastructure bill and shit we're trying to spend right now.
Yeah.
So what I want to know though is specifically with DeSantis, what about what policies that DeSantis has dropped are you like this is better than like the Democrats overall?
So some of the policies that I would say DeSantis.
Because to me, my impression has been that he's just like run of the mill corporate tax cuts for the corporations and anything like he's stuck us with some with like some online sales tax that's kind of just fucked regular people while he's giving corporations these tax cuts.
I know that you don't fuck with Ronald Reagan.
Oh yeah, no, I don't fuck with Ronald Reagan at all.
So
I mean, I have a little bit of respect for him because he was, I mean, he was the great communicator, but he was like the actor who played president, in effect.
very true.
Yeah. I mean, as far as DeSantis, he's. I want to make it very clear, before I get into why, like, I might vote for him in the next election. I vehemently disagree with some of Ron DeSantis's policies. I think a big one is him and the corporate taxes here in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's basically bending over backwards for them.
Yeah. Even
to be pretty blunt.
Even Disney,
just tax cut after tax cut, tax holiday after tax holiday.
Yes, sir. Even Disney, who he was like tried to do that. He did that like PR stuff where he's like, I'm not letting Disney get away with it. He's still giving them a fat, like he hasn't gone after their giant tax credits and shit.
Right. No, of course. They're in his pocket.
Exactly. Yeah. So then why like if it comes down to Joe Biden versus DeSantis general election, is you're going DeSantis because of guns?
And guns, I would say, is a big one. I'm a big advocator in like the government, like just basically fucking off when it comes to civil
type shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily a left or right issue. That's an American issue. I really feel that. I feel like Ron DeSantis as well. I feel like he definitely encapsulates that kind of attitude. Ron DeSantis is very in favor of just telling the government to kind of just fuck off.
Yeah. Are you against like certain benefits, like the child tax credit that Biden had passed for a while during COVID and stuff? Are you against?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm in favor of them. Matter of fact, one of the big wins of the Biden administration was the solar tax credit.
Right. Yeah.
So for families that go solar, it went from 26% to 30%. And he extended it for the next 10 years. It was about to expire.
Yeah.
The reason I know that is because I actually work in solar myself. I do door to door.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I do door to door. Yeah. But a big one that I think is what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I think a big win for DeSantis as well has been that he has fought the utility companies here in Florida.
But hasn't the electricity bill gone fucking up since he's been here? Since he's been running it?
It's gone up fucking everywhere though.
But I was just about to say, and part of that is because Duke and all the electric companies are spending billions of dollars to harden the electrical grid.
Right.
And so because of that, they're offsetting those costs onto consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So electric bills are going up through the roof. On top of that,
and you think DeSantis is gonna like stop that? Has a better chance of stopping that than Democrats would?
Well, I think so as well because it's. I was gonna say that we're also in a bit of an energy crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Gas prices are still pretty high. They've gone down, but they're still very high.
But why? Why?
It was at $3.70. And so, and I think a big reason to that has been because, this is so, how the Biden administration was essentially saying like, oh, Russia, like the war in Ukraine.
Yes.
Is to like the reason that like gas. That is partially, but we get about, I think it was like 15% of our natural gas
Right.
from Russia.
But even
So
even though that's true, the fact that other countries had to like some other countries like were like boycotting Russia or whatever and had to get gas from other places, that also affected our prices. Even though we only get like, would you say 15% from directly from Russia?
yeah,
Yeah, because it's only like a few countries buying gas from them now, right? Like none of the
right.
EU countries,
Mm-hmm.
not us.
So
Like
that did affect us like indirectly, like as a side effect.
because it sort of isolates the supply to like
Yes.
Saudi Arabia and us, and yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I think a big factor as well contributing to gas prices like going through the roof has been inflation, because like the prices of everything are going up because of the supply chain crisis.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And one big thing that I really like looking back, I would say was really, I mean, if not the sole cause, I would definitely say, the biggest one has been the COVID lockdowns, because that created a massive supply chain shortage.
Right. Yeah. That was a
And so
global fucking.
because of that, the prices of everything are just going up through the roof, because
Yeah.
the demand or supply cannot keep up with demand.
Right.
And
That.
so, as a result, we now have the worst inflation that we've seen since Reagan, as a matter of fact.
since the 70s, I think, right?
So what
since,
is
since the early 1980s. So I think what I meant to say before was that a big reason that I decided to leave the Democratic Party,
mm-hmm.
and a big reason that I would vote for DeSantis over Biden, is because looking back, those COVID lockdowns I think were really excessive. I think that, I mean, obviously, like a lot of us were panicking,
Yeah.
but the way in which it was handled, looking back, I think it was wrong.
But
We
at the
definitely
time,
handled it wrong.
would you have said it was how the lockdowns were going was the right move, or were you at the time like we should not be locking down like this? Like we should,
After a while,
like after like a
enough,
year or like how after like how
enough.
long? I mean, were you in Florida the whole time?
I was in Florida.
Okay, yeah, cause for me, like, yeah, in Florida, we had like a month of like maybe chill at home, and then it was like
Wear a
fucking back
mask
to
for like
normal.
6 months.
Yeah, barely.
Barely that even. Was there ever a mask mandate in Florida?
It was like a county by county thing. Like some counties
It was county by
had it.
county, like in Orange County, because I lived in Broward County and Orange County,
Same.
so both of those were controlled by Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
So like I really got, like, I just got sick of it. I was just like, bro, this fucking sucks. And like after a while, I was just like, yo, you can't live your life in fear. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, the effects.
That's how I felt once the vaccines came. Once the vaccines
Right.
came, I was like, okay, we're done. Like whoever doesn't want to get vaccinated, get fucked. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Like we're done. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, like at the time, that's how I felt too.
But pre-vaccine, I was like, I mean, it was like annoying, obviously, wearing the mask and everything. But like, I was like, all right, well, I guess that's what it is now until the vaccine hits.
Right. But yeah, no. But that's basically like my take on that.
Yeah, and also shutting down with no stimulus, no like consistent stimulus checks for people. I was like, that is like a recipe for disaster. That's why California was fucking falling apart.
Oh,
They were shut down and there was no
absolutely,
so people were just losing their businesses and like losing everything, bro. Because that's where I was like, okay, it's like not. I guess it's like a health hazard to stay open and like not locked down fully. But at the end of the day, if we're not gonna have stimuluses to like keep people going, it's like there's no option. Like closing with no stimulus is like, but
And then the
worst
governor was
option.
like, 30 million people could get COVID. Like he was kind
Yeah,
of stressing people the fuck out.
for sure.
because yeah, bro, that like the supply chain shock has. Oh my god, dude, it's going to destroy. It's literally it's a boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a boomerang, and it's about to smack us right in the face.
Right.
This is going to be the worst recession since the Great Depression. It's gonna be even worse than 2000.
Okay,
You
so
think so? I honestly, I don't.
Worry is
I feel like it's gonna get better as we like, especially heading towards the general elections. I think things are gonna start looking up a little bit because I think like job growth is getting a little better right now. Like it's like we're slowly working our way back.
I'm telling it all depends on inflation in the next 6 months to a year, because if inflation keeps on going and going, then the Federal Reserve is going to be like, yo, we need to get interest rates to 10%. And at that point, the housing market collapses. Like, a lot of bad things could start happening if we get into that territory. Now, it looks like inflation has started trending down, but like barely. So, I don't know.
True.
Yeah,
I,
and like on top, and it's still going up. It's just like barely starting to decline.
Bro, what happened to your mic, bro?
yeah.
Yep.
It just got a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
it's
It
just
just
like
got
Can you hear me?
muddier. You got a little more muffled.
Yo,
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you still. It's just a little more muffled right now.
okay, one sec.
I think he's pretty much right, like descriptively. Like I think it could be like a pretty bad recession. I just don't really think it's Biden's fault.
Yeah, it can't. It's sort of some
and
things where I'm
it's
like,
still going up, right? Like it's just inflation is just going up at a slower rate than it was in the preceding years.
right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it went down for like 1 month and then it started going back up again. I know what you're talking about. I follow the market. You feel me?
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened the last time in the early 1980s. Like in 1981, when Reagan took office,
Mm-hmm.
like inflation was going up, and up, and then it was literally like fucking. It just It what's it called? It started going up again.
Do you know anything about Volcker? His policy during that time?
I don't know anything about it.
So, just to give you like a little bit of history, like Paul Volcker was the head of the Federal Reserve like at the last inflation crisis we had,
I know.
and he went like full on like, yo, we're raising the fuck out of rates, we're going to control this inflation, and the economy absolutely tanked,
Mm-hmm.
but inflation did get fixed like as soon as, the economy started recovering. Inflation was pretty much back to 1-2%, and they lowered the rates and everything was fine again for like until now, pretty much.
Okay.
But
Right.
and then we had Alan Greenspan. One more thing, real quick. Alan Greenspan. He was the Fed Reserve Chair, like in the 2000s bubble, and a lot of people shit on him because they think that he didn't do enough and he was too subservient, like to George Bush. But yeah.
Okay.
So one big thing was that in the 1980s as well, like what really caused the economy to recover was also the fact that computerization, especially in the 1980s, took off. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like in like cities like across the country, especially in cities like New York, you had companies from every single sector of the economy that now had
Computers.
technological abilities. Yeah, computers and technological abilities unlike never before. Like when when Apple came on the scene, nothing was the same. And it's like it's really hard to like explain like how impactful the spread of computers
it changed
was
the world.
like, dude, computers changed the fucking world. When Apple came onto the scene in like 1984, which is not a coincidence because that was when the economy began to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And that was election year, and Reagan won in a landslide.
Right.
And so, I mean, he said it was morning in America. And so I think this recession is 100% going to be worse than what it was in 2008.
Oh, you think we're
for
heading
sure.
into a worse recession than 08?
Yeah, not as
Think
bad as the
banks are
Great
going to start
Depression.
going bankrupt?
What's up?
You think like banks are going to start going bankrupt, like that type bad? I don't know, man. I think that there's been a lot of financial regulations. Like, definitely, we could see a huge decrease in like values of stocks, which we
Isn't
already
there
really have. Like, a
also
lot of companies are down.
the thing I want to say is when it crashed, like the crash in 08, that was largely due to the fault of Republicans. I mean, it was fucking Bush times. So like,
It was honestly like it was the fault of everybody. What I mean
Under
by that is like
regulation.
under regulation for
under
sure.
regulation, and on top of that, like, listen, people were biting off way
Yes.
more than
1000%.
they could chew. They like
Agreed.
the 08 was literally everybody's fault. It was the banks; they were the biggest ones to blame,
Right.
100%.
But
That's not debatable. However, everybody in the U.S. economy was to blame for that.
you don't think had
Everybody.
we had like like a Democratic president instead of a Republican president, they would have maybe done something to help prevent that from happening, rather than like just deregulate and
Little.
let it happen.
Very
Very little.
Very
Okay.
Republican light.
Republican light. I feel you. Okay.
Like, I genuinely think
It was inevitable.
that everybody was to blame
Mm-hmm.
because even under Democratic administration, more the Obama administration, more specifically,
Yeah.
very little was done
True.
to combat what happened in 08.
What
But
about the Dodd-Frank Act,
He did
man?
manage to turn it around. He did, like, Obama did manage to fucking turn it around.
No, hold up. I'm gonna hold you to the fire on this one. What about the Dodd-Frank Act? You just don't think that did anything?
The bailout?
No, well, I mean, the bailouts I think happened under Bush, unless I'm wrong about the timeline. But
It was under Obama.
it was under Obama. Okay. Well,
So
either way,
some of them occurred under Bush.
yeah.
One of them
but
that
not all of
occurred
them.
under Bush was Bear Stearns. But
Lehman
Bear
Brothers
Stearns went,
as well.
Bear Stearns no, Lehman Brothers was not bailed out.
Gotcha.
They were not bailed out. They basically said, yeah, no. The Bush administration said no, that's not happening. Lehman Brothers, as a matter of fact, they went to Warren Buffett and they said, please help us. He said no too. It was AIG. It was like they were like $1 trillion bailout.
Sheesh.
It was like 800 billion to $1 trillion. It was something like that.
No, those government bailouts were insane.
Those were nuts.
It was fucking ridiculous. It was the insurance companies
Yep.
that were selling all of these credit default swaps,
and
which were basically insurance on the housing bond.
But you think this time around now, like, Democrats won't try harder to like stop that from happening? You think that they're just gonna Republican light this shit one more time and just let everything crash again? Like, you think Joe Biden and DeSantis are gonna let the same shit happen?
Do I think they're gonna let the same shit happen, or
Like
I think
yeah, like, do you think, like, because you're saying like you would vote DeSantis over Joe Biden this time? Do you think that like both of those candidates would let like a 2008 style crash like happen again at the same level?
yeah, I think they would, and what I on top of that, like, I think both politicians of both parties
Mm-hmm.
definitely would let that happen again, because at the end of the day, bro, the rich and powerful in this country have a different set of rules. I think we could all agree on that. But with that being said, I think DeSantis is still the the better option regardless.
But why? Because he's just. I would assume he's just gonna deregulate and let the shit crash, bro, and just bail out the banks again.
No, what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that it's going to happen regardless.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think there's nothing we can do to stop it?
And I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. It's going to happen next year.
Okay. It's gonna happen
I
next
could
year.
definitely see like the economy taking a worse downturn, but that's sort of just what happens. Like if you look at it on a long-term time frame, like let's say you're looking at US markets like for the past 50 years. Like yeah, there's times when we go up 20% every year for 5 years in a row. There's also times where we crash 50% like in 08. And like these sort of patterns just kind of play out based on like global macroeconomic trends. I don't really think that you could just say like it's the president's fault that they didn't prevent it. Like,
But you think there's Nicky D?
No,
Do you think that there's like
yeah,
nothing that can be done?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. I don't think Biden is to blame for this recession.
You don't think
What
the
I-
president
is that-
has that much of a hand in general? Whoever the president is, they don't have that much of a hand.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. But one thing that I really vehemently disagreed with Obama is the fact that he literally just I mean, the fucking the bailout. Like
Yeah.
they literally
He did the
nothing
thing.
happened. They lobbied Congress to keep basically the same laws, which is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally just gave them a shit ton of money. So nothing has really changed.
Yeah.
Not much has changed since 2008.
I
really at
would
all.
agree with that. Yeah, not much has changed.
Not much has changed. So if we can agree that not much has changed, then we can also agree that something like that is likely to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't even be the fault of the president. So it's not really a Biden versus DeSantis issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that
people are greedy.
People are greedy.
Corporate greed.
You know,
wins out. Yeah.
and with that being said, I still think that DeSantis is still the better option. Or I mean, as far as gun rights are concerned, and I would say still on the economy, like regardless of whether or not there's going to be a recession, on economic issues, I still agree with DeSantis more than I do with Joe Biden. And I would say that in addition to him, because like my philosophy is basically I would rather have taxes be too low than be too high.
Regardless of like how
That's
they're being spent, or like what you get in return for them.
Yeah. Because like the thing about government spending is that ultimately, do we really know what the fuck where the fuck our money's going?
I mean, we kind of do.
We kind of literally do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
they
kinda-
released the budget and shit. Like
We do know where it's going, and I mean, that's the thing is like it's
a
not
lot of it
it's
gets
not
wasted,
a secret.
for
It's
sure.
not a but it's not a secret that it gets wasted. Like you could see it get wasted. They try to cover it up and
That's what I'm
say
saying.
whatever the fuck.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like our government wastes a shit ton of money. So if our government wastes a shit ton of money, I would rather them
just not give them the money
less-
to waste.
yeah, like
Okay.
just not fucking waste our money, bro. Like I would rather
Is there a
I would rather have taxes be too low than be too high.
so when it comes to Biden versus DeSantis, it's like a lesser of two evils thing, or do you like DeSantis? Are you like I fuck with this guy?
It's lesser of two evils.
So if
you know what I'm
is
saying, like
there-
I have respect for Ron DeSantis,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not agree with him 100%.
Okay. Is there a politician
for
that
me-
you agree with way
hold
more?
on, hold on.
Think
No,
of
for
it
you.
like. What's that again?
My bad. Never mind.
Oh, well, because what I was gonna say was, what was I gonna say? Yeah, okay. So, Democrats, or here, think of it this way: Republicans are snakes in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
but Democrats are snakes wearing a unicorn hat.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You ever seen that
And
meme?
like a fucking a sticker that says VLM
Yeah,
or
yeah.
fucking what's it called?
Gay
Or
pride.
like with the pride flag. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You seen that meme where it's like Republicans in office, they're dropping the bomb, and then Democrats in office, they drop the same exact bomb but with the fucking rainbow sticker on it.
Yeah, on the plane, yeah.
Right.
On the
Okay.
bomber, yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like
That is genuinely how I feel about the Democratic Party right now.
I think
You
there's
know what I'm
like
saying?
there's like the seeds of change in the Democratic Party though happening right now. Like very very early, but I do like in terms of Joe Biden, he has surpassed my expectations of what he was going to do in office. And my expectations were definitely like in the garbage. Like I was expecting nothing from Biden. But
And so let me ask you a question. Like, you say the government should be small, right? Jacob.
What's up?
So
Yeah.
you say the government like should generally be small. So I'm assuming like in foreign policy, you would probably think that we like shouldn't intervene in everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like Biden's like done a pretty good job of that. Like he
Yeah.
pulled us out of Afghanistan.
yes.
If you look at drone strikes like across a bunch of
Afghanistan-
countries, it's down.
Well,
Afghanistan was a victory for sure.
okay, yeah.
Drone strikes are way
Or
down, and then
not a victory, like but like in terms of us getting out of Afghanistan,
Yeah.
it was the right. It was done horribly, but it was the right move.
But
And
I
that
don't,
was
and then
do
another
you
with
think
Ukraine.
there was like I don't think there was a better way to like I think it was like at whatever point we decided to get out of Afghanistan it was gonna be bad. Like we were never gonna leave, and Afghanistan was gonna be like in a super positive
we
spot.
would have just kept wasting money.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did leave a lot of weapons.
true. We did leave.
We thought they
And
could
that's what I
use
mean.
them shits.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they took
Well,
over.
and
real
they were
quick.
like the what's it called? Some of the generals were estimating it was anywhere to 40 to $50 billion worth of weapons.
Yeah,
The Biden
Oh, I
administration.
think it's more than that, bro. Because we were there for 20 years.
we were there for a
Like,
That's
fat
what I'm
while.
saying, bro. Dude, we
It was a
left
terrible thing.
so much shit there, bro. It was the right move, but it was done fucking horribly. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, they're literally lying to us as to how much the Biden administration left in Afghanistan, because you have generals who are literally testifying to Congress that are saying, yeah, we left like $50 billion worth of weapons. And that was a conservative estimate, right? Like,
I would say
but we left
is a
that
low ball.
for them to defend themselves against the Taliban. Am I correct on that? Right.
I mean,
Yes.
In theory, like that's
Yeah.
what we were doing it for. Because we had like trained their soldiers and shit, right? Before we left.
yeah.
And then the Taliban, like
Pretty
it was crazy to watch it happen like in a day. Like we leave and the next day it's like Taliban is taking over. Like
Yeah.
that's
That's like it just shows that it was literally all for nothing.
it was for sure all for now. We should have never fucking been there in the first place.
And like the thing about Bush is that Bush was, I think, also hated by Republicans, and he is hated by Republicans now.
Is he? I
They
feel like
like-
now Bush is looked at almost fondly, bro. People like
Yeah,
when he
I would
comes
sort
on-
of agree with that. I mean, maybe Trumpites, maybe not so much, because I don't
Yeah.
think Bush likes Trump.
I don't think.
But
I don't think. I don't personally. I don't think Bush is looked at fondly by Republicans, because Bush had some of the lowest approval ratings ever when he left office.
True, but post leaving office, I think like I think it would probably went up a little bit. Like I feel like that probably happens in general for presidents when they like when you're in office, people just fucking hate everything you do.
yep.
But pre that,
Yeah.
And then in Ukraine, like I feel like he's done a good job of not getting involved, like
Also-
militarily, not sending boots, but
But-
still.
Bush didn't get like decimated in the midterms like presidents usually do. When that was partially because of 9/11. So when the midterms came, they didn't fucking just like completely
This
lose
was
the
the best
house.
midterm performance since
Since
Bush.
then, yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was, dude. It was watching these results was actually surprising. I was like, holy shit! Like we did not lose as bad as I
Gonna win the
thought.
Senate.
Yeah, we might win the
Right.
Senate.
Almost certainly.
It's wild, dude. So
Are you both registered Democrats or?
Yes.
yeah,
I
I'm
think.
a registered Democrat for sure. Still,
Hmm.
But I would say like I'd tote more towards like the
do we have
moderate
open
side of the party.
primaries in this?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it's closed primaries.
That's
right?
the only reason I registered Democrat. Yeah.
Facts. That's the thing we should definitely change for sure. But so right now you're not a registered Republican, are you, Jacob?
No, I'm not. I'm
So
not a registered
You're just
Republican either.
independent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guns and the economy. Is there like another big issue for you?
So I would say also, I mean, I think this about like my generation as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the left, and this applies more to the extreme left.
Okay.
The left has and really just in general, this generation, I feel like, because younger people in general, I feel like younger people just have this victimhood mentality. Like, because like too often, I genuinely feel like a lot of people our age aren't as grateful as what they used to be. I think a big reason is because of social media. We're always comparing ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and we're always on it. And that has created this really toxic culture of comparing ourselves to other people.
So
Social media can be used for great things. I surround myself with positive content, but I genuinely feel like this generation, young people in this country, are thinking to themselves that because the world is fucked and because there's so much against them, that like it's just hopeless. It's nihilism.
mm-hmm.
And we're like more hyper
Does
aware.
that make sense?
I agree that our generation has become super nihilist and shit. But
Like like it bothers me. It bothers me that people are genuinely like, yo, like shit is meaningless. Like there's just no point.
But I
Like no,
think,
we're alive. We're supposed to be alert. We're supposed to be fucking grateful.
but
And like have the ability to change the position that we're in. You know what
the
I
thing
mean?
is think about even last night, bro. Like Gen Z fucking turned up. A huge part of the reason that there wasn't the red wave everyone thought was because our generation showed up and was like, we're not just gonna say everything's fucked. Like they showed up to vote.
No, for sure. But what I'm saying is that like when it applies to the rest of life, not just voting, you know what I mean? Like when it applies to just life as a whole, I feel like people, especially on the far left,
I feel like as
are
much as
just like,
people like to say like are being like everything's fucked, like the system is corrupt as shit, it's all working against you. As much as people say that and feel that, like our people our age are still they still go to school even though like it's a scam. Like they're still getting jobs even though they're like fuck these corporations. Like they're still doing the shit. It's not like they're sitting around doing nothing about it, just complaining. Like they are. I think we are doing stuff.
no, I agree because but that's the thing. Life stops for nobody. And so if you have this mindset constantly that everything is fucked,
Mm-hmm.
eventually it does take a toll on the things that you do. Because
I for
mindset is
sure.
everything.
I agree with
You
that.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I truly like I don't know, I just maybe it's like the job that I had recently, but like I just have this spirit, like this just entrepreneurial spirit that like I can do shit. I can be my own boss, and I can fucking change the circumstances that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like
I get that I have,
taking action
for
and
me,
doing
it's like
shit.
waves. I have waves where I'm like, dude, I can do anything. And then, like, next day, I'm like, why the fuck, like, for me, like, just me personally, I have it in waves. Like, it just changes. There's days where I'm like, there's no point doing fucking anything. And then other days where I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fucking do this shit. You know?
I think as long as we're conscious about like these problems that are facing like
Mm-hmm.
our generation, like I think that's a pretty good start
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. I wanted to add one last thing because I have to get going.
Uh-huh.
But this is a great conversation. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you
And
calling me, Nick.
hey, man, we
What
could
was
do
your
it
name,
again
man?
gotcha.
sometime. Nico. I'm
What was your name,
Nico.
man? Nico. Nico.
Yeah.
Bet we should definitely do this again.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, um, that uh, fuck, I just lost my train of thought.
Mindset is
Hold on.
important. Everything is fucked. Entrepreneurial shit.
Fuck, bro. Just damn it, man.
All
I
good, bro.
literally
But it was a
I
pleasure
lost.
talking to you, G. And
Shit.
yeah, let's see if you can come up with the closing comments. I'm gonna
Oh
stall
yeah,
for
yeah,
this.
yeah. I remember.
Okay,
I
bet.
remember. I remember what I was going to say. So, like, I completely agree with Nick because our generation, one thing I am glad that a lot more of us are becoming aware of social issues,
Mm-hmm.
especially after George Floyd's murder in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give one example, like I'm glad that our generation is becoming more aware of these issues because I've seen it happen, and I'm seeing it happen. So
Yeah.
I'm glad about that. Uh, and I think that people on the right should definitely do more to try to understand those issues.
I would say that.
Especially people like Ron DeSantis, as a matter of fact. That's one of my biggest issues with him. Is that when it comes to social issues, yeah, he's ignorant.
Yeah.
He said some ignorant things, you know,
Agreed.
and so
That's part of his
and so
appeal to
yeah,
Republicans. Is that culture
exactly.
war
So
shit.
right. So the flip side to that, you hit it right on the nail. Cultural war bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the flip side to people on the left acting like victims more than they should is that you have people on the right who are ignorant of these social issues. You know what
Agreed.
I'm saying?
Agreed. They
But
just run the other way, and they're like, "Fuck all that."
exactly, they're right wing SJWs.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
They're the other side. They're literally the other side of the coin.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. A
Yeah.
1,000% agree
But
on
yo,
that.
this conversation was great. This
Yes.
conversation was great.
Yeah, I feel like we could talk
should
about a lot
definitely
more
do it again.
shit sometime.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But all right, y'all. It was great
Alright.
having y'all.
Hey,
Yeah,
peace.
man.
Don't forget to
Peace,
drop a
man.
like on the stream.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I got you. Peace.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Sick. Well, yo, what a lame ass dude. No, I'm kidding.
That
That was good. That was good. I fucked with that. Good,
No, yeah, that
dude.
was dope. It
I
would have
feel
been a
like,
little better if he was not on his phone, I think, but
I mean, honestly, I think it worked out fine. It sounded straight. Dude, I feel
yeah,
like we could have talked about so much more shit. We could have gotten way more in depth on a bunch of this shit, honestly.
definitely. That's the beauty of the server, bro. You can just pop in whenever he's back, you know?
Yeah,
Whenever he's
yeah,
streaming.
literally. And now I fucking finally, you don't have to call me, you don't have to answer. You can just hop in.
Beautiful.
I
It's a
figured
beautiful
that
day.
out. That's sick, man. What, dude? Let me ask you something,
Let's get it.
dude. I'm pretty shocked John Fetterman won, honestly.
I'm
I
a little
thought
surprised. I thought that abortion was going to be a big issue there, man. I really did. So I wasn't that shocked.
you okay. I mean, yeah. Oh, I mean, overall, I guess abortion. I think in polls, abortion was. You know what's interesting
Bro, Kyle
that I
voted.
heard?
Send me a picture.
I saw that. I saw you about it.
Oh, he's not in Pennsylvania, though.
Yeah, no, he's in Wisconsin.
Kansas.
Dude, what was interesting? I heard. I heard it on. I think it was on Breaking Points or on Kyle Kalinski's show that Joe Biden, like when they polled people, like should Joe Biden run again, and 66% of people said no. He shouldn't
Sheesh.
run
Is
again.
that just all people or just Democrats?
I think it was a poll of like people leaving the ballots, like people leaving voting places or something like that.
Got you. I mean, yes, he's like 30-something
But
approval rating. Kind of
that's
makes sense.
so interesting though, because it's like, damn, like 60% of people are like, I do not want this guy to run again, and yet like they kind of came through. Like he came out after last night. He came out looking way better than anybody thought, bro.
No doubt.
Like truly, like holy fuck. He came out I wish we could talk more to Jacob about this, but I was like, I am like on the I thought Biden was gonna be complete fucking garbage, and he's been. I wanted to talk about Ukraine too. I wanted to ask him how he felt about how Biden's been handling Ukraine.
Facts, bro. I tried to bring that up, then you started talking about Bush,
Shit,
you motherfucker.
god damn.
But anywho,
But yeah,
no, yeah, I was surprised as fuck. Like he actually snapped. Democrats did solid. They still might win like 2, maybe 3 more races potentially.
Yeah, I mean,
in the Senate.
looks like we got a good chance of keeping the Senate.
And
The
the
House,
House
we
is gonna be
lost.
close. It's gonna be like +4 for the Republicans or something.
Literally some shit like that. I think it's like, so it's like, holy fuck, dude, like for Joe Biden, like it's so crazy. But honestly, part of it, did you see the thing? I think maybe you sent this to me too, but where the Democratic, like some big Democratic donors donated to like the most extreme Republican candidates. They
I've
donated.
seen it.
They
sent
helped
that to
prop
me.
them.
I don't know.
Did I? They helped
I
prop
think I know
them
what you're
up.
talking about. Though.
They helped like prop them up and donate a bunch of money so that they would like win the primaries or whatever, and then so they would be easier to beat. And because
You're talking about from a while ago. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
no, I'm talking about like for the candidates that ran last night, that people voted on last night. Like
And
a
it
lot,
was
like
the vast majority of the money was spent on getting people out.
no,
It'd be
no.
extreme.
Like just in general, like some Democratic donors donated to like the more extreme candidates on the right instead of the more
Okay.
like moderate ones,
Facts.
to prop them up to win because they thought those guys would be easier to beat than the moderate ones. The same way, like
In the primaries, though.
yeah,
are you
no,
talking
no,
about?
no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, for the primaries. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, this time around, obviously for the actual election, no. But like
Yeah,
the same
Trump's
way,
candidates kind of didn't do too well.
but dude, they like all lost, like almost all of them.
I think democracy was one of the big issues. Like people were like, "Yo, we're not fucking with Stop the Steal."
It's you're gonna, dude. It's like you're really gonna watch the Republican Party really try to fucking abandon Trump now because they just watched like he was poisoned this time around. Like 2016, the Democrats tried to prop Trump up in the primaries, thinking like, oh, if he gets the nominee, we're winning, and then we fucking lost because we put up goddamn Hillary Clinton.
Or Trump said some shit about Desantis today.
What did he say?
He was like, I just want everyone to know like that I got 1 million more votes than Ron DeSantis.
Oh man!
Like in Florida in 2020. Like, why is he even comparing that, bro? Like, the turnout is so much lower. Like,
did you see?
bro.
Did you see they interviewed Trump and he said, "If they win, it's because of me, and if they lose, it's not my fault at all."
Yeah, he's okay.
He
That's
said
so
that.
good.
He really fucking said that.
Dear God.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. Like that's so fucking funny. And he like straight face, bro. Like no irony, no nothing. Just like straight up, if they win, it's because of me. If they lose, I didn't have shit to do with it. It's fucking
That's so blatant. What the fuck, man?
hilarious, dude. Yeah, like literally everybody who endorsed him and who was like super on the Democrats stole the election, or I don't know, remember some question, like all those people fucking lost. Like the
Too
country, and that was actually super like a relief to see, dog.
For real, because
Like-
that election shit is so stupid.
Like if I had seen like all those people win and be like, holy fuck, like this country really thinks like everything's fucking rigged, like fuck, like we're fucked, it's over. But there's hope. There's fucking hope. Nicky D. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. That's us.
It's us, dude. I'm telling you, we're turning the country blue. Texas coming next.
Dude, the young people came out hardcore too, dude. Like, holy shit. Somebody I saw, they said from the last midterms, like 18 to 24 or whatever the fuck that the youngest quadrant is.
Yeah.
It's up like 300 something percent, bro, from the last midterm.
From the last midterm, that is actually nuts. Actually,
300, bro. That's fucking dude. Last midterms, like 8 20-year-olds voted, and that was it, dog. It's crazy.
nah, yeah, that's pretty hype. That's good.
dude.
I'm trying to remember if I voted in the midterms last time. I don't think I could.
I've only.
Yeah, I could.
I couldn't. Maybe I could have. I don't actually know.
I might have voted on campus at UF. I don't remember though.
I've only voted one time, and it was for Joe Biden in the general election.
Let's go.
I remember I walked into that voting booth, or like I walked into the thing, and I gave them my name or whatever, and they were like, "First time voting," and I was like, "Yeah." And the lady goes, "First time voter," and all the fucking ladies in the room just started going, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude."
Let's get it, bro.
What?
Let's get it. I was the first time voter in for Bernie Sanders in the primary.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Jacob. I was like, "What is there a politician you actually fuck with? That's not like a lesser of two evils type."
Bro, I'm telling you, he fucked with Biden. Like even in the primaries, he was like, "Yo, I like Biden. Like vote for this guy."
Over Bernie, like in the primaries.
Over Bernie, yeah.
Damn. I wanted to go so much more into depth. Like, how did Biden let you down? And I guess it was just the economy getting fucked, which I don't really blame Biden for.
Price
and
of gas. Also, I think
I don't fully blame
that.
Biden for that. And yeah, facts. You're right. And I don't fully blame Biden for that. And but on top of not blaming Biden fully, I don't think like DeSantis would have done better. Like, do you?
Definitely don't think so. No.
Right. Like, do you? I mean, like even if like he managed to get gas prices lower, like, get fucked in another area. You know what I mean?
No, I think you could absolutely make the argument that Trump's COVID policy, like, contributed in large part to like the supply chain issues that we saw. Like, if we could have gotten a more quick response to it, I feel like things would have gone a lot better. Like, I don't think that you could like the supply chain issues were pretty much because of COVID lockdowns,
also,
right? Like,
it's COVID lockdowns, and like we don't fucking make shit.
Also
like,
true.
That's what we got fucked is we don't fucking make shit, bro. We ran out of masks. We had to fucking we had to make, what was his fucking name? Fauci. They had to make Fauci lie and say masks don't help.
Okay, we do make some shit, bro. We make the most oil in the world.
We do. We drill the most oil in Alaska.
Alaska and Texas. Texas is actually the biggest one. Texas is almost on par with like fucking half Saudi Arabia type shit.
Damn, so there's a good amount of oil in Texas.
Yeah, a ton. And dude, I think
that was a race.
South Dakota.
That was a race where I was like, God, dude, I don't know if you saw. Did you see Gideon on Destiny stream?
Yeah, I watched that video today.
Where they're talking about him. Excuse me, fuck. About him not voting.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Like, I mean, I was like, oh, he's literally coping with he doesn't want to admit he's like, I'm a fuck up and I didn't vote. Like, I just didn't want to do it. He's like, what does my vote do? And I'm like, and they're like, Gideon, even a regular person could say that and you'd be like, you're kind of right, but you're a fucking big ass YouTuber, bro. You could have turned out a lot of fucking people. Like,
he absolutely could have.
He could have had a huge hand.
Exactly that, yeah.
He could have had a huge hand in like flipping the state, and he was like, nah, that's fucked up. Like, he was like, he was literally like, it's fucked up to use your platform for like political shit. Basically, was he was saying. I was like, dude, what? He's like,
no, that's crazy.
He's like, but like for ads, it's totally fine. Or, like, buy some product, but vote for. Like, did you see Destiny be like when he was like, I care about women or whatever, and he's like, Destiny was like, no, you fucking don't, because you would vote if you cared.
No, he snapped. And the same thing with the MLK thing that he tried to say. Like, Destiny fired that up his ass. Destiny knows everything about MLK, I swear. Like, there was this one time where someone tried to use, like, I think it's because socialists use MLK and say, like, oh, he was pushing for socialism. But, like, it's kind of cap.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he knows all this shit. But there was, like, the letter to the Birmingham jail, someone said that about him with, like, trans issues. that's like him, and he was. Do you know about that?
Yeah. I've read.
Yeah, and he was like, "No, bro, like you have no fucking idea what he was talking about. Like
Mm-hmm.
the white moderates back then were like, yeah, we should probably have segregation. White moderates today like sing along to Kendrick Lamar songs with the N word in the car.
Yeah, that's facts, dude.
It's so true.
That's so facts, man. Goddamn, dude. Progress is has been made. People think like things never change. It's like, dude, things literally change, bro. And dude, yeah, like the whole fucking Gideon being like voting doesn't do shit. It's like, dude, what are you talking about?
No, yeah, he's
Crazy.
tripping.
He's tripping. Gideon was tripping, bro. Yo, but of course he's tripping, bro. He's class of 2019. What do you expect?
Do you think that's facts? He's younger than us. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, he's literally 2 years younger than us. That's why I'm like, dude, I need to get on my actual YouTube content. Like right now, I just have like the VODs of the streams on there. But I need
Going
to
to do
get
some pranks, my dude. Damian Luck, man.
pranks on the street interviews. That's what I really try to do. I need to get a better camera and shit. I need a camera man. I need a camera guy, dude. That's what I really need.
You just need to do one of those shows on Snapchat where you just talk to people.
Yes, that's
In
what
the
I want to
streets.
fucking do, dude. There's a guy that already does it in Orlando, though. It's fucked.
That's flawed.
Fucking ginger ass motherfucking. Actually, he should come on the stream. That guy. But yeah, dude, I want to get into that for sure. I'm trying to figure out like, I have to find like my own niche though. Like I gotta figure out like what do I do that nobody else is gonna do.
Facts.
Like,
It's
I
a
find something
it's a
specific
learning
as fuck
experience.
to me. But yeah, dude. Dude,
Bro, that's the thing is when I look at Destiny, like I think he started streaming like
he was
around
definitely
our age.
the pioneer of political streaming, at least for sure.
But he also like went through so much shit in his like life before he streamed. Like he
Yeah.
has a developed worldview like early on. And some people that's just like how it works, right?
I mean,
But
I heard him say this was, and I thought it was so funny. He was like, dude, when I was 20, like early 20s, like I was fucking anime kid, like I'm smarter than everybody type, running in a journal every day.
facts.
Dude, Destiny, dude, I've come so like around on Destiny, like from being like a Hasanabe fan.
He's just a positive guy, you know?
He's just like a regular dude, and like
True.
he stands by like his principles. Like you know how like Republicans will hear vaccine mandate and they go my body my choice, then they hear abortion and they're like no, government has a say. They hear like trans and they're like no, government has to intervene. It's like it's such an inconsistent principle. Like
Absolutely.
you don't actually believe like my body my choice. It just depends on the thing we're talking about. But Destiny will like stand by his principles, which I fuck with.
Dude, I remember this is just like a funny thing in relation, but like
Yeah.
I relate so hard because I remember I was talking to my ex about abortion and gun issues and like pointing out to her that it was hypocritical in that sense.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, yeah, like I guess I'm hypocritical. And I was like, yo, like you can't just do that. Like what?
The thing is you.
I guess you can, if
just
you
admit
like. It's
you're
better to
hypocritical.
admit it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to be so hypocritical like that. Was it like a I'm pro abortion but like I'm against like fucking stand your ground or like death penalties or something?
No, it's like I'm pro-abortion in the sense that like, oh, like if that shit was illegal, people would just do it anyways, but it would be unregulated and it would be like way more dangerous,
Which
and
is facts.
which is facts. But they want to like get rid of guns.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. And the analogy Jacob drew to drugs was true, but I'm like,
Yeah,
it still means less people are doing it, and also it's like with guns. I mean, I guess it's true with drugs too, but like with guns, it's like a gun will be like $1,000, $2,000. As soon as you make guns illegal, that same gun is now like $20K. You know what I mean? It's all of a sudden it's way more fucking expensive.
way more expensive. Absolutely.
Which is in my head, good. I mean, yeah, because I'm not. I, I kind of ideally, I in like an ideal world, I'd be like ideal world. I would be like, yeah, like get rid of guns.
Yeah.
But I just don't
Do you think
like.
for the cops too, or no?
Ideally, yeah. I mean, like we'd be like like British people. You know what I mean?
Ideally, yes, but let's say in
That's just not
America
gonna happen. Yeah,
they
that's just
could
not gonna
ban
happen.
guns. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's just not gonna happen. I mean, this country has more guns than people. Like actually,
It's crazy.
we'll never get rid of them. They're just part of the like what we should do if we're never gonna get rid of guns, which I think we never will. It should almost be like gun safety should be like taught in schools. Like it should be a fucking class.
On every iPhone has a gun built into it.
Dead ass, dude.
Just
It's
one shot, just in case you need it. Type
just
shit.
just a quick. You get one bullet in the gun. Dude, can you imagine how many people would fucking kill themselves trying to answer a call on accidentally?
Yeah, but it really is crazy. Like you've seen all the Twitter videos of like the kids in Chirac with like a ridiculous amount of guns.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's
that
insane.
would never happen anywhere else.
And
I don't care.
the other part of it that's crazy is Illinois specifically has pretty decent like gun laws.
Oh yeah, they've gotten very strict.
But it's just like you go to the fucking next state over and come back, dude. Fucking
Scratch the cereal off. Boom, boom.
2 hour trip, and you fucking have a gun and you come back, bro. That's why like something's gotta be federally, like the laws gotta fucking be federal and enforced, cause
It's just that pesky Second Amendment.
that Second
Motherfucker.
Amendment. Dude, have you ever seen that Key and Peele sketch where it's like it's like the founding fathers are writing the Second Amendment, and then they come back, like Jordan, one of the two comes like from the future, like appears into the room with a big ass gun, and they're like, "You can't fucking make this you can't make this amendment happen, bro, because it just becomes like chaos, like guns everywhere." So they like are like, "Shit, all right." So they take off the Second Amendment, and then the other one of them appears from the future with an even like crazier, more heavy duty gun, and they're like, "Just ban guns, man," because this shit gets even crazier. And you thought it's such a stupid sketch, but I always think about that sketch. I'm like, we're fucked, man. We love guns in this country. Best case is everybody. You just mandate everybody knows how the fuck to treat a gun and knows how to act around guns. And it's like not a serious thing. Legalize, like do that. Decriminalize.
I mean,
all drugs.
I definitely get scared when I see a gun, like just in general. So
I mean, dude. I mean,
if I'm ever in a situation, I mean, not in a store, probably not, but
think about it. You're at a party and everybody's having a good time. Somebody pulls up with a gun, not even like to shoot it up. They just have one on them. It's like the vibe just fucking changed.
No doubt, it becomes a different situation.
Immediately, the vibe just changed because it's like that dude could just fucking end everybody right now. And it's like, it's like, and Republicans are like, well, just everybody should have a gun. Which I mean, like, fuck. At a certain point, it's like, in this country, it's like you kind of like almost have to have a gun because it's like you don't want to be the one dumbass with no gun. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like some mass shooting happens, which they're getting pretty common.
Yeah, that's
I'm a bop that motherfucker.
Bop, dude. Remember, dude. Like Uvalde, bro. When Uvalde happened in Texas, and Greg Abbott said, "This is due to gang violence. This is because of gang violence. This is happening. I'm not gonna do shit because it's gang violence, bro." Like that's outrageous.
Did he really say it's because of gang violence? What the fuck is he on about?
That. The Uvalde shooting happened. He fucking blamed it on gang violence, bro.
My stepdad blames it on video games.
I hate that. Video games specifically because it's like, hey man, or when they blame it on video games or like mental health issues, I'm like, dude, other countries have video games and mental health issues. No fucking shootings. So that's not
I
it.
think our mental issues are a little bit more
Do you
severe.
really? Do you really
I
think
actually
that,
do
Nicky
think
D?
that. I do think that there's a mental health problem in this country.
You think of it like
Absolutely. Just looking at like fucking incels getting radicalized on 4chan, bro. How
But,
often
like,
does that happen in other countries?
see, the thing is
It
have
probably
you looked
does
into that?
actually.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It probably actually does happen in other countries,
mental
but
health
they
per
don't have the
country.
guns. Yeah, you might be onto something.
It. I mean, it. Yeah. Like, shit is. Other countries deal with like societal issues like social media and all that shit is everywhere. The only thing that's not everywhere is fucking guns.
Do you think it's actually possible that in our entire lifetime they could outlaw guns in America?
No, I don't think that. I think that's so. Like, I
Think about it
think.
though. Think about when we're 60 and our kids that we like have explained this shit to start voting. Like maybe we have a chance.
No, because too many people. I don't want to say indoctrinated, but like from the jump get put on guns.
True.
Like it's too popular in this country. Like I mean, dude, you would think like a crazy amount of shootings would make us reevaluate guns in this country, but they don't. Like what would make us as a country like be like, "Oh, we have to like actually just do like a 180 on guns." What would have to
I
happen?
mean, this is what I think would have to happen.
Let's see.
There'd have to be a sustained period of increased mass shootings, which we're already starting to see. Probably the last 6 years, at least.
An increase in mass shootings, you just said?
Yeah, if that shit keeps going up like crazy, then I feel like we're gonna have to do something eventually. Like right now, it is a problem, but it's not like parents. I feel like aren't realistically like super scared day to day about like a mass shooting at their kid's school.
I mean,
Just because, what do you think?
I actually I would venture to say it depends a little bit on what state you're in, how much the
True.
parents are concerned about that. But I would say that it is for sure a concern. I mean, the fact
It
that
is a concern, but
schools
it is
have
not the concern.
in terms of schools or in terms like
In terms of like the safety of the kids is probably the number one concern of parents, but it's not like something that they're realistically giving a chance to day to day. It's just like a vague fear that they have in the background. But I think that if it became prevalent, like
yeah.
let's say in Florida, the
Like
last mass shooting was I think
we caught like the tail end. We finished school like right when that was sort of really becoming like a issue. I would say.
yeah, but the one in Florida was obviously really bad.
The Parkland
But
one.
yeah, the Parkland one.
That
But
was bad.
has there been another one in Florida since then? Like there was the Pulse, but I mean that's not a school, but it's still like obviously
I mean, that was
terrible.
before. That was before Parkland too. I think.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna.
But if it was like 3 Florida schools in a year, I think people would take it way more seriously. You don't think so?
3 schools a year in Florida.
Let's say that it was 3 schools one year, and then the next year it's like 6. I think parents would really, really start fighting about that shit.
Yeah. I think it could do that.
I don't think. I hope that it never gets to that level, but
I just typed in school shootings 2022. Top story. 1 student killed in shooting at North Seattle High School. That was a day ago. That was literally like
Shit.
yesterday.
Let me check this out.
Just type in school shootings 2022. Let's see, school shootings this year. How many and where? 41 school shootings this year. 41's a lot.
Shit, that is a lot.
41 in a year, dude, is a lot. 123 people killed or injured in a school shooting. 35 killed.
That is a shitload.
And let's see where the shootings are happening. Florida, Texas, couple in Canada.
35 people killed is pretty rough. But I'm saying, what if it was like, if it was like 30 people a state type shit?
Oh, dude, if it got to
Like, it would be
if it got to that point, holy dude, if it was like, dude, that would be insane, Nicky D. That would be insane.
That's what I'm saying. Is if it got to that sort of a level, I really do think
But
that we could rally.
that's
and
insane.
fight that shit.
But this is insane. Like
Oh,
35
absolutely.
in
I'm
a
not trying to
year is
deny that this
insane.
is terrible, but I'm just saying that it hasn't gotten to the point where people are willing to say fuck guns.
The thing is
For most people.
I actually do think a lot of people are willing to be like, I think actually most people, because I think in polls and shit, most people are like, we need to like definitely increase like the requirements to get a gun. Like it needs to be slightly harder to access. I think majority of people, right or left, agree on that. Very few people are like, no, we should have absolutely no fucking restrictions on guns. Like everybody should.
I think you might be a little surprised at how many people love guns so much that any gun law like triggers the fuck out of them, and they're just like, yeah, no, fuck that. Dude. I think that like definitely some policies we can all agree on.
I think most smart gun owners recognize there needs to be some sort of regulation. Shit, I wish Jacob was here to talk about this.
Facts. Like, okay, the loopholes, obviously, I think everyone.
Yeah, I think most people agree that loophole needs to close for sure. The gun show loophole and all that shit needs to fucking.
Would people be in favor of raising the age to 21? I actually don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know about that one as much. But
or making it so that you have to take like a let's say that they have like a standardized 20-hour course federally.
I was gonna say,
I think most people might not be for that. I don't know actually.
Actually, I actually think if you said you have to take a course to get a gun, I think most people. I think you easily like over 50%. Maybe I would say it's close to like 65 to 70%. Would say like a course is a good idea.
Or okay, I think that there's a course right now, but
what do you say about waiting periods?
Yes, that's what I was gonna bring up next. Waiting periods.
Waiting periods, I think, is a pretty good idea. Do you know about red flag laws?
I don't like. Is that like things like if you're on the no-fly list and stuff like that?
I think it's sort of like that, but it's also like
any violent crimes.
Yeah, shit like that, where it's like automatic. But I think there is ways to like get around it or get that like removed from you or some shit like that.
Gotcha.
Or if you're deemed a danger by like a doctor or something like that. I think they also have like red flag laws.
I would support that. But yeah.
I saw, dude. There was a Destiny debate where it was like a Jordan Peterson like live thing with a couple other people. It was like all fucking conservatives in Destiny.
Yeah.
And one of the dudes was like a former cop who was like, I'm not even in favor of red flag laws, but in my state they enacted them and like this is how they worked and they were effective. Like he was saying like I'm not in favor of this, but they worked and it helped. It was like
so
funny.
Dumb,
It was so funny. I was like, this guy's literally being like, I don't agree with this, but it helped. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Come on now, man.
People just in this country, dude, guns are like candy, man. Like some people
they favor the freedom over the safety.
Some people are Christians, some people are gun owners. You know what I mean?
Facts. I actually do think that's what it is, though. Like people favor the fucking freedom to have a gun over the safety that would come if we got rid of that. But that's what I'm saying, though. There is a point where the safety becomes more of an issue and it starts to outweigh.
Yeah, we just have it's mind blowing. We haven't hit that point yet.
Facts.
It's crazy. You would think like one elementary school shooting and like we should like do like Australia had like excuse me, fuck, one of like the biggest massacres ever. And like right after that, the government was like, this is a Jim Jeffries bit, but he's an Australian guy. He's like, Australia had a shooting. It was like one of the worst shootings in the world. Like immediately the government was like, all right, that's it. No more guns. And everybody was like, ah, yeah, that seems right in Australia. And then
hey, that's what we did with 9/11, bro.
And then he goes, in America, you guys had a shooting where little like elementary school shooting where like little children died. And the government went, maybe we'll get rid of the big guns. And half of you went, fuck you, don't take my guns. It's like that's accurate. That's how we are. Like,
Australians are pussies.
dude, did you ever hear? Do you ever heard that thing where like Australians like are all descendants of like criminals because
I have not heard of that.
they like I think it was like in England or like in Europe in general. At some point, they took like a bunch of fucking convicted criminals and just shipped them to Australia. Like Australia just became a place. Like,
Amazing.
but they're all descendants of fucking criminals. I may be wrong about that, but I think there's some truth to what I'm saying. If someone looks it up, but it's wild, man.
Crazy shit. But alright, bruh. I think I'm a dipset. It's time to make some food.
Yeah, I'm about to fucking. What time is it actually? 8:15. Yeah, I'm about to dip too.
Alright,
But that
good
was good,
stream,
man.
dog.
We gotta do that again, but we gotta get Jacob back on here and talk more in depth.
Yeah, I'll hit him up. Hopefully, he can. I bet he has like a headset or some shit at his house. I don't know where he's at, but
it's chill. I mean, it honestly did not sound that bad. Like it was straight. The quality
bet.
was straight for sure. But all right, homie, it was good talking to you, man.
Yeah.
Peace,
Peace.
man. Peace. That was fun. That was a good. We had a good comp. I'm gonna end the stream though.